Good morning, and welcome into the Lifeline Morning Show. I'm Steven, and I just want to say how glad I am that you're here. I know for a lot of us, Wednesdays can feel like we're stuck in the middle. Not at the beginning anymore, but not quite at the finish line either. It's that in-between place where we just kind of grind through and hope for Friday. Are you there today? Yeah, but what if today, right here in the middle, is actually where your light matters most? Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, "What you do speaks so loudly that I cannot hear what you say." And isn't that the truth? The way we live, the little things we do when no one's keeping score, they speak louder than any sermon or speech ever could. Because we live through our actions, don't we? Yeah, it's a way of preaching in and of itself. Let's unpack that just a little bit. You know, think about the people who've shaped your life. When I think about the ones who've shaped mine the most, it's rarely because of something big that they said. It's the teacher who stayed after class to ask if everything was okay when I wasn't myself. It's the friend who texted at the exact moment I needed a reminder that I wasn't alone. It's those everyday actions, those quiet choices that make the biggest impact. And maybe that's what shining where you're planted really means. It's not waiting until life feels perfect or until you have everything figured out. It's saying, God, use me right here, right now, in this job, in this family, in this moment. Because you never know who's watching your light today. Maybe it's your kids who are learning what faith looks like by watching how you handle frustration. Maybe it's your coworker who notices that even when things get stressful, you still choose kindness. Or maybe it's someone you'll never even meet, someone who simply catches a glimpse of God's love through the way that you live. The truth is, influence doesn't always come with a microphone or a spotlight. Most of the time, it looks like faith lived out quietly, with kindness, integrity, and grace. So here's your reminder for this Wednesday. Don't underestimate the light you carry. You might not see it, but it's shining through you in the way you love, the way you serve, and the way you show up, even when it's hard. Because right where you are, in the middle of the week, in the middle of whatever you're facing, God can use you to bring light to someone else's life. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to shine. So shine. And hey, I love hearing from you. So you want to send me a morning GIF? Just tell me good morning. Hey, I'm here for it. Text me 256-967-0885. I'll send you that morning GIF back, by the way. We'll have some fun with that. You got a song request? Let me know. Again, the number to text 256-967-0885. Or if email is your thing, here it is, Steven@885jfm.com. That's how you get in touch with me. I look forward to hearing from you. Now, how about some Josh Baldwin and Jen Johnson with Made for More, right here on the Lifeline Morning Show. Thank you for being here on the podcast. I don't want you to miss out on this amazing music, so I'm putting together a Spotify playlist and a song list. They will be in the podcast episode description this morning, so you can go and check out some of the featured music that played between these breaks. Sound good? All right. Now, it's going to be populated from Spotify to 4 other locations. Of course, we're on Apple. We're also over on iHeartRadio. We're on Amazon Music and YouTube. So if you are listening from there and those links aren't working in the description, go to the Spotify version of the show and those links will be working. Okay? So again, that's a Spotify playlist and a song list that'll take you to these songs over on YouTube individually as well. Just wanted to make sure you could still enjoy the music. And hey, hang out with me live sometime. I would love to interact with you. So you can go to 885jfm.com, click the On Now button, and press play. And I'm live from 6 to 10 Central every weekday morning. I look forward to hearing from you. You know, Preston from Clanton, Alabama, he actually found us over on the podcast and then started coming and hanging out with us live. And it's been a lot of fun. So, hey, that could be you too. And always, this invitation is open to everybody. You can reach out to me. 256-967-0885 is a number to text. Or if you'd rather email, it's Steven@885jfm.com. All right, back to the show.
People forget what you achieved. They don't forget how affectionate you were. People will remember when you were kind. People will remember when you were caring. People will remember when you listened without rushing them. People will remember when you showed up when no one else did. People will remember when you forgave them at their lowest. People will remember when you believed in them before anyone else did. People will remember when you stayed calm while they fell apart. People will remember when you gave them dignity instead of judgment. They may forget your wins. They may forget your work, but they won't forget your energy.
Now, I want to talk about what's been happening behind the scenes here in the studio this morning, because you see, you can't see what's going on, but I can tell you a little bit about it. The morning GIFs, they are a-flowing. I got the Kool-Aid Man sent to me. I also got Michael Scott sent to me from The Office. Oh, it's so much fun. And a bear has shown up waving, saying, have a good day. So we got a lot of good stuff. Ross really got me with the Kool-Aid Man. He's like, this generation will never know what it's like to see the Kool-Aid Man bust through a wall. You are right, Ross. Thank you for sending me that. It's a good laugh this morning. And hey, I'd love to get a morning GIF from you. I'll send you one back. So text me just like Ross did. And you know what? Just like I got from Haley as well. She sent me one. So 256-967-0885. That number again, 256-967-0885. You can request a song, send me a morning GIF, say hello, tell me something rough that's going on in your life, because you know what? We like to pray around here. And yeah, we can do that. So 256-967-0885. Good morning to you in Anniston, Alabama. Wow, it's been a while since I've been down that way. I went to Jacksonville State, not too far from you. Really loved living down there. Yeah. Also, we got Albertville, Gunnersville, and Madison hanging out with us. And we can't forget our friends across the pond in Fulkenstein and Vogeland, Germany. Guten Tag to you. All right, more great music headed your way. How about we kick it up a notch with a little elevation rhythm and Goodbye Yesterday, right here, right now, on the Lifeline Morning Show. Real hope, real faith, real life, and we get to do it together. And I'm pretty happy about that. How about you?
Mike. What day is it, Mike? Leslie, guess what today is?
It's hump day.
Woo-woo! Hump day?
Hump day? I love that commercial. It lives rent-free in my mind. Now I want to talk with you a little bit about today's theme. It's shining where we're planted. How do we do that? Well, I got a little bit of a story here that I think is going to inspire you just a little bit. Because you see, there's this guy. His name is James Harrison. Now, he's from Australia. And James wasn't famous, at least not at first. He wasn't a pastor, a politician, or a motivational speaker. He was just an ordinary guy with an extraordinary habit of showing up. See, when James was just 14 years old, he needed a major chest surgery, and the only reason he survived was because of blood donations from strangers. So when he turned 18, he decided to start giving back. Literally. He began donating blood, not just once or twice, but regularly, every few weeks. What he didn't know at the time was that his blood contained a rare antibody that could help prevent a deadly condition in newborn babies called rhesus disease. And doctors discovered it. They started using his blood to create treatments that saved lives. And over the next 60 years, James donated more than 1,100 times. And because of that faithfulness, it's estimated that his blood helped save over 2.4 million babies. Think about that. A man who never sought out attention, who simply kept showing up, doing what he could with what he had, became known around the world as the man with the golden arm. And hey, Ralph Waldo Emerson said it like this: what you do speaks so loudly that I cannot hear what you say. And James Harrison lived that out quietly, faithfully, and consistently. You see, influence doesn't come from how loud you are. It comes from how steady you are, from how you love, from how you show up, from how you let God use your everyday moments to bring light into the world. So maybe today, that's your reminder. You don't have to do something flashy to make a big difference. Just show up, be kind, keep giving, and let your light shine right where you're planted. Sound good? All right, hold your head up high. We're going to do this thing. It's going to be an amazing day. Look at all the opportunities. I mean, the sky isn't even the limit at what's going to happen today. So, hey, while you're at it, include God in your goals today. Ask him to give you the opportunity to show up like this guy did, like James did. Yeah, ask him for an opportunity to live your faith out loud, to shine where you're planted, and watch what he does. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised at what happens. Thanks for hanging out with me right here on the Lifeline Morning Show. Now, I think we need a little house fires, and I thank God. 49 right now over in Boaz. It's 52 in Arab, 53 in Huntsville, but here in Gunnersville, we're sitting at 60 degrees. Let's talk about your word of life. Today from Matthew chapter 5, verse 16, in the New Living Translation of the Bible. Let your good deeds shine out for all to see, so that everyone will praise your heavenly Father. You know what? You do the good stuff, not for praise for yourself. No, it's for his praise. It's for his glory. You're living to please him now, and there's nothing like that. Wow. When you're able to show somebody what being a Christian looks like, it's a pretty big deal because you're showing them some light in the middle of a really dark place. Yeah, so shine right where you're planted, okay? Yeah, and while you're at it, share this word of life with somebody. We've got it ready for you in photo form on Facebook, Instagram, and X. And it's always there at the top of our website, 885jfm.com. Well, I think we got time for one song, and then we'll start up the car line competition on this wacky Word Wednesday. Are you going to win 6 gift cards on the first question? We'll find out after Josiah Queen and Brandon Lake. Now say it with me in 3, 2, 1. Give me the horn! All right, now I guess let's go ahead and let's crank that engine, and then let's start that music so I can say, hey everybody, it's time to play the car line competition. That's right, it's Wednesday. That means it's Wacky Word Wednesday. Your chance to win 6 gift cards off the top because somebody had such a big heart yesterday. Yeah, it was really cool. Did you get to hear yesterday's car line competition? Well, if you did, you know that Katie and her daughters decided to roll those gift cards on, which means we've got a bit of a train rolling through. There it is in the background. So are you ready to play my game? Now keep this in mind. You can only win one time a month. And then you got to encourage your classmates to call in so that your homeroom gets to the top of the leaderboard. All right, are you ready to play for 6 gift cards? Then here we go. I'm a funny word for that fluttery feeling in your stomach, like when you're nervous or excited. Maybe it's the spelling test, or maybe it's because you're about to be on the radio. Is it A, collywobbles, B, widdershins, C, skedaddle, or D, lollygag? Oh my, what could it be? 256-505-0885 is the number to call. I know you're scratching your head. It's like, what did you even say? Let me read it one more time. I'll give you the options again, and then you call me up. Even if you don't know the answer, you can still guess. I am your phone a friend, so here we go. I'm a funny word for that fluttery feeling in your stomach, like when you're nervous or excited. Maybe it's the spelling test, or maybe it's because you're about to be on the radio. Is it A, collywobbles, B, widdershins, C, skedaddle, or D, lollygag? 256-505-0885 is the number to call. Clue number 1 on this one. I first appeared in the 1800s and have nothing to do with birds, even though I sound like I might. Clue number 2. I describe something you feel, not something you can touch. So am I A, collywobbles, B, widdershins, C, skedaddle, or D, lollygag? 256-505-0885. And while I wait, I think maybe we need to hear a song. So yeah, let's do Andrew Ripp and Breakdown.
If you're riding in a car with me and you don't like worship music, well, whoop-dee-doo. Whoop-dee-doo. In the mighty name of Jesus, I pray.
Yeah, Brooke loves her some worship music. And I'm here for it. Thank you, Brooke, for sharing that. That was amazing. I'm going to play your song when I'm done with this car line competition question. You see, nobody called me, so that means I get to break it down to a 50-50 shot. Somebody stands a chance of winning 6 gift cards this morning. Oh, by the way, they're to Gunnersville Chick-fil-A, Albertville Home Bakery, and the Caring Heart Thrift Store in Arab. And we'll want you to keep 1 or 2 of these and give the others away. We'll even ask you who you're going to give them to, so you can share some love with at least 2 people right here on the radio. Now, you can keep these and you can give them away. You can even roll them and keep the train going. It's completely up to you. So here we go. You ready? All right. First question, first round, car line competition. I'm a funny word for that fluttery feeling in your stomach, like when you're nervous or excited. Maybe it's about the spelling test. Maybe you get those butterflies in your stomach for that. Or maybe it's because you're about to be on the radio. It could be. Don't be nervous, because I don't take the phone calls live. No reason to be nervous at all, okay? And I go back and edit it, make you sound like a rock star. So here we go. Is it A, collywobbles, or is it B, Wittershins? 256-505-0885. You got a 50-50 shot. Why not? Call me up. Take a chance. What's the worst that could happen? You get a smile on your face? We get to chat a little bit? I mean, come on. 256-505-0885. I look forward to hearing from you. Now, I think I need to play this song for Brooke because she was jonesing for it. It's Hope Darst, Mighty Name of Jesus, right here, right now, on the Lifeline Morning Show. Y'all are awesome. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. That number again, 256-505-0885. Didn't have any calls for that first round of the car line competition, so I'm about to scrap that question, but I thought we would have a little fun with it. How about a short story that involves the word I was looking for? First, let me ask you the question one more time. Now I'm doing away with it, so don't call me on this one, okay? Here we go. Here was the question, okay? I'm a funny word that for that fluttery feeling in your stomach, like when you're nervous or excited. Maybe it's a spelling test, maybe it's because you're about to be on the radio. Is it collywobbles or Wittershins? And the answer was collywobbles. And here it is in a short story. Larry never feared much in life, not spiders, not heights, not even his mother-in-law's cooking. But the bake-off at church, that was his Everest. He was halfway through sampling Miss Edna's triple chili chocolate cupcakes when it hit. The collywobbles. That stomach somersaulting, gut-grumbling feeling that makes a man question every decision he's ever made. Larry tried to play it cool, smiling for the judges. Spicy, he said, his eyes twitching like a malfunctioning Christmas light. 2 minutes later, he was sprinting for the fellowship hall bathroom, praying harder than the choir on Easter Sunday. The next morning, Edna proudly announced, Larry said my cupcakes moved him deeply. She got first place. Larry got a new respect for the word collywobbles. Yes, it is that nervous, anxious, butterflies in the tummy feeling that also comes with a little discomfort. That is collywobbles, by the way. Now, those 6 gift cards are carrying over to round number 2. Are you ready to play my game? This one, I think, is going to be a little easier. So, here we go. Round number 2, and I've got to have my bells. There we go. All right, so here it is. I'm a cheerful word that means to hang out or spend friendly time with someone, especially someone important. Am I A, hobnob, B, hodgepodge, C, hullabaloo, or D, fiddle-faddle? 256-505-0885. Call me up, let me know, and win 6 gift cards. Here's Ren Collective. 88.5 JFM, good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, what's going on, babe?
Just driving to work.
Okay, you don't have the collywobbles, do you?
Do I have to what?
The collywobbles.
I don't think I know what that is.
That was the first question on the car line competition.
I did not hear that.
It's all good. So
what is that?
I even shared a short story of Larry and the triple chili chocolate cupcakes when the collywobbles hit. So...
Oh,
right?
Oh, no, I don't. No, that's just no.
I don't think I need to describe it now. All right.
No.
Here we are. We moved on to round 2. So here is your question. I'm a cheerful word that means to hang out or spend friendly time with someone, especially someone important. Am I A, hobnob, B, hodgepodge, C, hullabaloo, or D, fiddle-faddle?
I believe that it is Hobnob.
I believe you are correct. Congratulations to you. You just won 6 gift cards because we had a train rolling. What do you think about that?
That is amazing.
Yeah.
So, can we do something? Can we give them to a group of people?
Like what people?
Well, how about we give them to part of the office staff at Lakeside North Community Urgent, and then we can give the rest of them to Marshall Pediatrics.
Ooh, like hit them like 3 at one spot, 3 at the other?
Yeah.
Share some love with them. Yeah, I think they could use a little love because they're seeing all these sick people all the time. They need a little brightness to their day, don't they?
Yes, they really do.
I got you. Okay. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, thank you, babe. Thanks for calling in, playing my game. And now, do you want to shout anybody out this morning just for the fun of it? And why is it me? I'm playing. It doesn't have to be me.
I want to call out Pastor Seth Martin.
Seth Martin. All right. What do you like about that guy?
Yeah, he is our pastor, our new pastor at Lake City Assembly of God, and he has just kind of come in and it's been a whirlwind, I know, that he stepped into, but he has done a fantastic job, and I really feel like I've been getting, he started his new sermon series. It's what, he said, hey, what do you want to hear? What is something that you feel like God is needing you to hear more of?
Yeah.
And this last sermon it hit home with me. I had to get up and leave during the middle of it, but I came back as quickly as I could. But it hit all the right places for me, and I've been really learning a lot from him. And I'm really glad that God brought him to our church and brought his family to our church. So I'm just excited that he's there and that our church is growing. And I feel like there's definitely some changes coming for the better.
Yeah.
And that we're growing. And that's the whole point, is to reach more people for Christ. So I think it's great.
Awesome. All right, babe. Well, thank you for playing my game and sharing the love, and we'll get those gift cards passed along, and hope you have a great day at work.
Yeah, thank you. Hope you do too.
Thank you.
All right.
All right. Love you.
Love you too. Bye.
Bye. That's how it's done. The car line competition, a little unique way of giving those gift cards away, but I love it. So, yep, we got Lakeside North Community Urgent Care getting 3 gift cards, and then North Marshall Pediatrics getting 3 gift cards. So we'll be sharing the love. I love when stuff like that happens. Hey, y'all are awesome. Thank you so much for having some fun with me this morning.
This is Pastor Larry Walls with your Drive Time Devotion. A band of juvenile thieves had a well-refined method of operation. They would enter a store as a group. 1 or 2 of them then would separate from the rest of the group, while the others would move to a distant section of the store and start a loud argument, causing enough commotion to grab the attention of the clerks and all the customers. All eyes would be turned toward the disturbance, leaving 1 or 2 of the roving, moving thieves an opportunity to fill their pockets with merchandise or cash and leave the store before anyone suspected what had even happened. After all that, it would be hours, sometimes even days later, before the victimized merchant realized that things were missing, and he would call the police. Well, by that time, the thieves were long gone, and there was no possibility of tracing or even recovering what all had been taken. Temptation works the very same way with us. It distracts us by using the allure of fame, fortune, power, or satisfaction of fleshly desires. In the process, we're often diverted from critical steps that we need to take toward the accomplishment of our goals. When we take our eyes off what's truly important in our lives, we run the risk of losing it all. Proverbs chapter 1 verse 5 says, "A wise man will hear and increase in learning, and a man of understanding will acquire wise counsel." I think the one lesson that I've learned in life is that there's just no substitute for paying attention. Pray with me. Heavenly Father, lead us toward that wise counsel and help us to keep our eyes on you. For it's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
I'm looking at my streaming map and noticing a bunch of people hanging out, so I want to shout them out real quick. Okay, so Jackson, Mississippi. I see you. Thank you for making us a part of your day. I've been noticing that pin pop up a lot more here lately, so we're becoming part of your routine. It means a lot to us. Thank you very much. Plus, we've got our friends down in Talladega where they like to go fast. I've been down there to the racetrack before. It was quite an experience. I'll tell you the short story. I was working for a TV station at the time, and they sent me to Talladega to get some video of the venue. It wasn't quite race weekend. It was coming later that week. So when I got there, a police officer had to escort me on to the property. So I had to get in his cruiser. And about the time I did, we got the call that somebody was unauthorized to be on the track. So here we go. Under the tunnel and out to the track. It was crazy. It was so much fun. This cop, I mean, he put the pedal to the metal. So anyway, it was a blast. Also, we got our friends over in Brookhaven, Georgia, right there outside of City Center in Atlanta. We got Albertville, Gunnersville, and Arab hanging out with us here in North Alabama, as well as Madison. Can't forget our friends there. We got Charlotte, North Carolina hanging out right now, and our friends across the pond in Fuchenstein and Vogelen, Germany. Hey, you know what? This invitation is open to everybody. I love hearing from you. So reach out, text me at 256-967-0885, or email Stephen at 885jfm.com. Like the Right Reverend Larry Walls. He reached out and said, "Morning, friend." I'm about to send him a text back. I'll probably send him a morning GIF. Oh, I love doing those, by the way. And this morning, it's been about the bears. Yeah, so I've sent out a bear waving saying, "Have a good day." Carla sent me a GIF, and I sent her back a bear dancing with a hula hoop. So who knows what kind of bear GIF I'll send you back. So send me one, 256-967-0885. I love having fun with you. All right, I guess let's get a song in here, and then we'll get a drive time devotion from the Right Reverend Larry Walls, who I just talked about. All right, here we go. Elevation Worship and Brandon Lake, I Know a Name.
Hey, I just want to remind you real quick how proud I am of you. You've been carrying a lot lately. And even though you don't always talk about it, I know you've been doing your absolute best to hold it all together. You've had moments where you wanted to give up, but you didn't. You kept showing up. You kept pushing through the pain, through the doubt, and through the silence. And that deserves to be acknowledged. Because you've grown in ways you probably didn't even see yet. You're becoming stronger, wiser, and more at peace with who you are. Even if life feels heavy right now, it's not always going to feel like this. You're not behind. You're not forgotten. You're right where you're meant to be. So take a deep breath and remind yourself how far you've come. You're doing better than you think. And I just want you to know, I'm truly proud of you.
This morning, we're talking a little bit about shining where you're planted. And you know what? That shows up by small, consistent actions. If you were with me earlier, you heard me talk a little bit about the man with the golden arm. His name, James Harrison from Australia. You see, he wanted to give back because it was a blood donation that helped him live when he was just a kid. So over the next 60 years, he gave blood regularly. We're talking about over 1,100 times. And he didn't know it when he started this, but he had a rare antibody in his blood that actually helped kids with a disease, helped to heal them, helped them get over that sickness. And what happened over the course of 60 years? Doctors estimate that he helped save the lives of 2.4 million children just by showing up to donate blood. Isn't that crazy? And you know what? I'd say that is shining where you're planted. He didn't have a microphone. He didn't stand on a stage. He just kept showing up. It's beautiful, isn't it? And you know, his light was so bright, we're still talking about him today, even though he passed away earlier this year, February 17th. And his story, his legacy lives on just because he kept showing up. But you know, it's not lost on me that there are other people who keep showing up. And maybe you've got somebody in mind right now, somebody who really showed up for you. So I want to know who that was or who that is in your life. It's been a quiet light, someone who made a difference, not by what they said, but by the way they lived. Maybe it was a teacher who believed in you when no one else did. Maybe it was a coworker who showed kindness when you were struggling. Or maybe a family member whose faith helped you find yours again. I want you to tell me that story. So you can text me at 256-967-0885. Or if you'd rather tell me, I'd love to hear your voice. 256-505-0885. That's the studio line, and it's open right now. Because, you know what? When you share their story, you're shining their light even further. And you might just remind someone listening right now that what they're doing matters too. Because if we're honest, consistently showing up, sometimes it gets tiring. Sometimes you wonder if it's even making a difference. But to know that it is a game changer. So tell me about that person in your life. Text me at 256-967-0885 or call me at 256-505-0885. I look forward to hearing from you. Now, Jamie McDonald with Left It in the River. Good morning to you, Weezy. I see you hanging out with us up there in what you talking about, Willis, Michigan. And we got a lot of people right here in Alabama, from down there in Talladega all the way up to Madison. Thank you for making us a part of your day. And hey, I'm asking you about that person in your life that has really shined their light. Who is that person who just consistently shows up and they have just been a blessing to you? I want to hear your story. So let me know. Call me up, 256-505-0885. The theme of today's show is Shine Where You're Planted. So I want to hear about those people who've been shining in your life. 256-505-0885. I've got a story to share with you coming up. That is so good, from one of our JFM family members. So stick around. Don't go anywhere. Here's Mercy Me with Oh Death. Some of us have been through some really rough stuff. I mean, just thinking about it now makes your skin crawl a little bit. But it also brings you that reminder that, hey, somebody's watching out for you, because if you were left to your own devices, you might not be here. But look, he's brought you this far. And lots of times he uses some amazing people to kind of help you along. And wow, I got a story for you from one of our JFM family members, sharing about that person in her life that really shines bright. Yeah, that's what we're talking about today. Shining where you're planted. Letting that light shine by showing up consistently. And I'm asking you, who does that for you? And my goodness. Here, take a listen to this. I think you're going to love it. Good morning. How are you?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. So you got a story to share with me?
I do, and I might cry during it. So
That's
just bear
okay.
with me.
That's all right. Those emotions are beautiful. Let them flow.
My husband. And, of course, back then he wasn't my husband. He was my friend. And we were in high school, and he was my person I talked to, you know. And so, actually, when we started dating, I was a little scared to date him because I was like, he was more important to me as my friend than he was a possible boyfriend or whatever, someone to date.
Yeah.
And so anyway, so he was my person. He asked me out, and finally, one of my friends says, "Will you stop looking at him as a friend and look at him as a potential boyfriend?" And I was like, "Okay." So we started dating, and so that was our senior year. And every time I had something going on, he was there. And there was one day in high school that I was depressed. I had anxiety. And he dropped me off from school. He was like, "Are you okay? Do you want to talk for a little bit?" And I was like, "No, I'm fine. I'll go in." And I go and get some pills out of my mom's stuff and take them because I'm just done. I'm just done with life. And so anyway, then all of a sudden, I know it was the Holy Spirit speaking to my spirit man saying, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I don't know." And so I called my mom, and Mom come, and I ended up, she takes me to the hospital and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But in the whole process, I never told him. And there he was in the doorway. It got back word to him that I was at the hospital. And the Lord just said, "You love this man." And that's when I knew that I loved him, and he still has. He's still been here every single time I've needed him.
Wow.
He's been a gift from God. He really has. And I just feel like he needed that. I don't want to say praise, but God needed that praise today of me listening to him and saying, "Yes, I do love this man." And And we've been married now for 26 years.
Oh, wow.
And so, but yeah, I just thought that people need to know that God's still out there and God still uses people in your own home. You just need to pay attention.
Yeah.
You know. So I know that was kind of all over the place, but there you go.
No, that was great. Thank you so much for sharing that. Somebody needs to hear that today.
Oh.
Yeah, because there are people who are showing up all the time, day after day after day, and they're wondering, does it even matter? And to hear that it does makes the biggest difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does.
Well, thank you for sharing your story.
You're welcome.
All right. I hope you have a great day.
You too.
Thank you. It's amazing. The people who pour onto our lives, and sometimes it's those people who just keep showing up. Maybe it's that person who just keeps lending a helping hand. Maybe it's that person who is just a shoulder for you to cry on. But it's one of those things. It's like your life is so much better because they are there. So who is that in your life? I'd love to hear your story. And I think maybe you sharing it with all of us is going to help encourage some people to keep showing up, to keep doing that, to keep letting their light shine right where they're planted. So call me here at the studio, 256-505-0885. I'd love to hear your story. Or if you'd rather email me, it's Stephen@885jfm.com. And of course, the texting number, 256-967-0885. What a story. Here's Phil Wickham. The King is in the room. Got a story of somebody shining where they're planted. I'm getting ready to share it with you. But in the meantime, I got a request from Preston down in Clanton, Alabama, who wants to hear Mercy Me, Even If. Here you go, Preston. Thanks so much for requesting it. Hope you're having a great morning so far, and I hope you enjoyed that bear gif I just sent your way. This morning, we're talking about shining where you're planted. Yeah, I know, right? Sometimes we feel like we're not planted in really good soil, and so we're not worried about shining. We're worried about digging up roots and moving. But what if we just paid attention to the people around us? What if we really lived in the spot where we are and we started shining? Now, is that a biblical thing, Stephen? Of course it is. Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. So you get the opportunity to live your faith out loud, and that creates a whole lot of light in a really dark world. And this morning, that's what we're talking about. So I'm inviting you to tell me about that person in your life that shines some light. They shine where they're planted. Maybe they've made the biggest difference in your life. Maybe not from big things, but small things. Maybe it's just constantly being there, always showing up, no matter the situation. Yeah. And wow, the story we got just a few minutes ago about that husband, that was awesome. And you know, there seems to be a recurring theme here because you're about to hear about a wife. Donnie called me up and wanted to tell me about that person in his life that shines a whole lot of light. Here, take a listen to that conversation.
Well, you know, I've told my story, well, partial of it, on the radio when I came in to visit with you.
Yeah, when you hung out with us for Family Friday.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And, you know, I will always feel like that beacon in my life has been my wife. And the reason I say that, brother, is just because, man, the situation I was in before I found my wife, I just felt like I was stuck, like if there was no progressing. You know, I couldn't get out and do what I wanted to do. I was held down. But, man, let me tell you, when I met my wife, you know, it's just like a light come into my world. And she rescued me from, you know, being tied down. And, you know, it's a beautiful thing because now I'm able to use all these gifts that God has blessed me with. Writing music, you know, doing the podcast, doing the radio, doing my show, you know, so no matter what, brother, there's always going to be somebody in your life that's going to be that beacon, that's going to help you through every day, that's going to influence you. And, you know, not only is it that person, but it's Jesus, brother.
Oh, man. Preach.
Jesus is always your beacon of light, and he will always guide you to where you need to go. And he will guide you through those foggy waters.
Yeah.
Because even if it's foggy, even if it's dark, he's going to light the way like 4th of July, brother.
That's it, man. Yes, sir. And I love how he uses people in our lives to help do that, you know?
Well, you know, I've always said when you have somebody in your life that's just as godly as you are, it helps you so much to progress in your faith
Yeah.
and to gain more and more of a relationship with the Lord.
Yes, sir.
But that's just what I wanted to share this morning, brother.
That's good, man. Thanks for sharing.
Yes, sir.
All right. Have a great day, my friend.
You too, brother.
All right. See ya.
See ya.
Wow. So a lot of you thankful for your significant other. And that's great. I'm serious. Now, here's the deal. They need to hear you share this light on the radio because you're talking about the light that they share. They need to hear it. So I'm just going to let you know how you can do that real quick. And then I'm going to play a song specifically for you spouses. Okay? All right. Here it is. You can find today's conversation across 5 podcast platforms this morning at 11 o'clock. At 11 o'clock, it'll be up on Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and YouTube Podcast. 5 locations so that you can go and share that clip with them of you sharing some love with them here on the radio, telling about the light that they shine because they're shining where they're planted. It's a pretty big deal. So just type in Lifeline Morning Show across those 5 platforms this morning at 11 o'clock, and you will find today's episode right there, and you can share it with them. All right. So the song that I think I'd like to play for all the spouses out there, it's a little something by Dave Barnes. It's called God Gave Me You, and it's so good. Charlotte, North Carolina is still hanging out with us. Thank you. I think I know who that is. I'm just going to guess, and if I'm wrong, I apologize, but it's your opportunity to tell me your name, okay? So is that by chance Mary? Is your name Mary, listening to us out in Charlotte? The same Mary who possibly used to work here at the radio station, because I think you moved to Charlotte. So anyway, let me know either way. Text me, 256-967-0885. Thank you. And we got our friends right now hanging out with us down there in Birmingham as well. Thank you for being here. Now, I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to start playing some music. Lauren Daigle, her new song. Did you get to see her perform this at the Dove Awards? Let It Be a Hallelujah? She did such a good job. It's fall, y'all. And you know what that means? It's time for some family fun because, you see, we've been doing this thing this week, giving away some passes to 4D Farms over in Coleman. And we're just going to continue that on today. So here's how you win them. You can only win them once, by the way, this season. But here you go. I want you to tell me about a fun fall family memory, the one that sticks out the most in your mind. Yeah, share that story with us and win a family 4-pack, what we're calling a family fun pack, to 4D Farms over in Coleman. They got the corn crib, they've got the corn maze, they've got fireworks, they've got the candy cannon, the zip line, and so much more. It's such a fun place this time of the year. So call me up at 256-505-0885. Share with me that fall family story, the one that sticks out the most, and win these 4 passes to 4D Farms. The number again, 256-505-0885. We look forward to hearing from you. Now, Matt Maher, the Lord's Prayer, it's yours. Shining brightly. You know what? Our kids, they do that from time to time, don't they? And it's a little contagious, and they kind of rope us into doing things that us as parents don't necessarily want to do, but we want to be there for them. And I got a story for you about a dad and his college-age daughter that happened to that might make you laugh out loud. So stick around. We'll get into it after Emerson Day and Get Behind Me. Right here on the Lifeline Morning Show. You do not want to miss this. This is such a funny story. Oh, it's good. Stick around. Let's talk right now a little bit about our kids, because sometimes they push us to do some pretty crazy things, because if we're all honest, we want to be the cool parent, don't we? We want to be out there with them. We want to get down on their level. We want to have some fun. But sometimes, if we're honest, it pushes us out of our comfort zone. And it's a place that we will let them take us, right? Yeah, I've been there before. My daughter's only 10, but can you imagine having a daughter that's college aged and the kind of fun things that she would like for you to go do with her? That's where we meet Mike. And Mike has got quite the story to share with all of us about a particular ordeal, a predicament, if you will, that he found himself in. So here, take a listen to this and try not to pee on yourself because you're laughing so hard.
So a few years ago, my daughter was home for the summer from college, and we decided to go to Disneyland for a few days, where we did a few things that really brought me joy. One, a bunch of the roller coasters there have cameras that take a picture at the scariest moment. And my shtick that I've done for years is that I like to do a big exaggerated yawn right when they take the picture. So you see them and everyone looks really scared, and there I am in the middle just aggressively bored. And Parker did it with me, which really pleased me very much. And I learned about her. I learned that one of the things on her bucket list is that she wants to go skydiving one day. And I thought, wow, that makes one of us weirdo. Because I have a big fear of heights. I'm uncomfortable on a ladder, let alone like walking off of an airplane voluntarily. But I took this thought and I stored it away. And a few days later, I'm chatting with my wife, and somehow the words that came out of my mouth were, "We should all go skydiving for Parker's birthday." When what I was thinking was, I will get out of this somehow. But her birthday was months away, and I thought this is a problem for future Mike, and I pushed all my fear down into my bowels. A few months later, future Mike wakes up, and it's skydiving day. And I'm future Mike, and my bowels are very unhappy. But I drive us to the Watsonville airport, and we check in for our skydiving appointment. And there's a bunch of forms to fill out that very specifically list all the different types of death and dismemberment that you promise not to sue them for. And then we meet our skydiving partners, because when you go skydiving for the first time, you don't do that by yourself. You don't even get a parachute. Your skydiving instructor puts a parachute on their back, and they strap you to their front like a big baby Bjorn. So it's not like you're really skydiving, you're just the luggage of someone who is skydiving. And we meet our instructors, and they're very chill dudes. Mine is named Stefan. He's like 1 part snowboarding instructor, 1 part Top Gun, and like 2 parts sunglasses. And we go through the training, which is just like explaining how to be good, polite luggage. And then they take us out to the runway to see the group in front of us. And a small plane pulls up, and 2 instructors and 2 skydivers get in the back, and the plane starts to taxi away, and they don't even bother closing the door. One dude's leg is just casually dangling out the door. And this is where I really start to flip out. I mean, there was a leg dangling. I've been in airplanes, and normally when my airplanes taxi, I'm not even allowed to have my tray table down, let alone part of me hanging out the airplane. So I turn to Parker and my wife and I say, hey, how are you guys feeling? And they're fine, they're happy, they're excited, like psychopaths. And so our plane pulls up next, and 2 instructors get in, and then Parker and I get in, sort of, with our backs to them, and we scoop between their legs like we're the little spoons. And the plane starts to taxi, and it takes off, and I realize that I'm not strapped to Stefan yet. And I ask him in my calmest and most high-pitched voice, I say, hey, Stefan, don't you think you should just strap us together? And Stefan is chill. He says not to worry. I am not chill. I am very worried. And I'm going through in my head how I'm going to get out of this. I signed a lot of forms. Maybe I gave up the right to do this. I don't know. Maybe luggage doesn't even have rights. If I don't do this, will my daughter be disappointed in me? Or am I just going to let peer pressure make me jump out of an airplane? And as I'm masterminding my escape, Stefan says, it's go time, because that's how he talks. And Parker's due to go first, so I see her and her instructor inch towards the door, and it's surreal, and the door opens, and they're gone. My daughter, my only child, has fallen out of an airplane. I spent 20 years trying to convince her not to run with scissors. And now she has literally tumbled out of an airplane in front of me, and suddenly I'm very motivated to skydive. And so Stefan and he sort of scooches, and I sort of Samsonite my way over to the door. And then my leg is dangling out that open door. And Stefan pushes us out. And we are tumbling, and it is windy, and it is noisy, and it is terrifying. And we are free falling for like 30 seconds or a week or something. And Stefan pulls the parachute ripcord, and he's also doing his other job, which is to video record the whole thing. Like I'm ever going to watch this worst day of my life again. And he gestures to me to smile for the camera, and I look up at the camera and I go, am I proud of myself for facing my fears and supporting my daughter and skydiving with her? Yeah, sure, whatever, a little bit. But am I really pleased with myself for making that stupid gag while plummeting to Earth? Yes, so much. That is my favorite. But the next few years for Parker's birthday, we just sheltered in place, and that was way better. Thank you.
Well, good morning, and welcome to This Day in History, a chance for us to look back on yesteryear, to celebrate some milestones and some achievements, and the movers and shakers who brought us this far. So what happened on this day in history? See, it was on this day in 1844, classical scholar and philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche, one of the most influential of all modern thinkers, was born in Prussia. I've heard plenty of his quotes. Very smart guy. On this day in 1878, American inventor Thomas Edison opened the Edison Electric Company with funding help from J.P. Morgan and other investors. Also, it was on this day, all the way back in 1950, the first radio paging service began business. The first page went out to a doctor on a golf course 25 miles from New York City. Remember those pagers? Yeah. On this day in 1928, some 4 days after leaving Germany, the Graf Zeppelin landed in Lakehurst, New Jersey, completing its first transatlantic trip. That's a pretty big deal. Wow, a big balloon strapped to a blimp, moving across the ocean. Kind of scary, but kind of cool all at the same time. On this day in 1964 at Bonneville, Salt Flats, Utah, Craig Breedlove broke a 500-mile-per-hour land speed barrier to set a new record of 526.277 miles per hour in his jet-powered vehicle, the Spirit of America. That's fast. But just hold on to that thought. Remember 526 miles per hour, because there's another record that was set coming up. It was on this day in 1951. The first episode of I Love Lucy aired on American television. The comedy series, which starred Lucille Ball and her real-life husband Desi Arnaz, became a classic. I Love Lucy. It's good stuff, isn't it? What's your favorite I Love Lucy episode? Is it where she's mashing the grapes with her feet? Or is it maybe at the chocolate factory? That was fun too. A lot of great episodes, right? Always getting into some kind of mischief, and she had some splaining to do. It was on this day in 1966, a 75-year-old Texan qualified as the worst driver in American history. He received 10 traffic tickets, drove on the wrong side of the road 4 times, committed 4 hit-and-run offenses, and caused 6 accidents, all within 20 minutes. Wow. You know what? That's a lot in 20 minutes. I think maybe after the first accident, it should have just, somebody drive me home, that kind of thing. Now, I told you to hold on to that 526.277 miles per hour because it's about to be broken. You see, it was in 1997, British race car driver Andy Green in his Thrust SSC jet-powered car. No lie, this looks like a Formula One race car with jet engines from a plane on the left and the right of it. It is a monster of a machine. He drove that and set the new land speed record that is the current land speed record, the only land vehicle to break the sound barrier at 763.035 miles per hour in Nevada. That's a pretty big deal. That's really fast. That's special for our friends listening to us from Talladega this morning. Thank you for being here. Some more birthdays to get to. It was on this day in 1608, Evangelista Torricelli was born, the Italian physicist and mathematician, inventor of the barometer. And then, I wonder, do you have a special thing going on today? Is it an anniversary? A birthday? Well, can I just congratulate you? Yeah, it's a pretty big deal. It's a big milestone. So if nobody tells you today, happy birthday. Happy anniversary. Whatever it is in your life, I hope you get to celebrate it. Because history is being made every single day. And with that thought in mind, I'm going to bring this music down and close this book and remind you of the simple truth There are many facts and figures written throughout this book, excerpts of people's lives and how they impacted the world and the culture around them, how they indeed made history. And you know what? I think it's such a humbling idea, don't you? How would you feel if your good history were written in a book like that, so that others can learn about you long after you're gone? It's a humbling idea, right? Well, I hope that for you. I hope your good history is written down in a book like this. But can I tell you, even if it's not, I know where it is being written every single day. It's on the hearts and in the minds of every person that you come in contact with and how you make them feel. So I'm wondering if maybe you could take a challenge with me I like to take every day about this time. It's simply this. Let's resolve to make good history today, so that when others think of us, they get a smile on their face, a little extra warmth in their heart. They feel better for having known you. Can you take that challenge with me? Now, before you say yes, I got to tell you, there's a little to it now. It's not just a set it and forget it kind of thing. If you remember those Ronco commercials, set it and forget it. No, this is active participation, because you're going to have an opportunity, or a few, show up later today, in which you get to choose how to handle the situation. Are you going to react in anger in the heat of the moment, or are you going to cool down a little bit, pause and calmly think of that? By the way, that's a biblical term, Selah, and respond to the situation like you should, with a little grace, a little mercy, a little peace. What do you think? Can you take the challenge with me with all that in mind? Yeah, I knew you could. Thanks for hanging out with me here on the Lifeline Morning Show. Now, Micah Tyler, God did it. We all love what we know, right? I mean, take your home, for instance. When the lights are shut off, you know the layout well enough to kind of keep from stubbing your toe on the couch, right? To keep from running into something, because you know basically where everything's at. You've been there long enough. It's just become a part of your everyday routine. So when the lights are on, it's great. When the lights are off, it's great too. You've just gotten used to everything being there. But you know what? Sometimes when those lights are off, we can't really see a lot of what's happening. A lot of what might be lurking in the corners of the room. Yeah, and sometimes we get so used to the stuff that we have around us that we forget that maybe that's not bringing us any good. Maybe it's stuff we're just keeping around because it's always been there. And that's a pretty deep spot to think about, I know, but I'm glad we got somebody to help us kind of unpack this. Brian Trent from Hampton, South Carolina, where he pastors the Lighthouse Church. We check in with him about every morning at this time. And he's got something special this morning. Let's talking a little bit about that concept. And I think it's gonna hit you in just the right way. Take a listen to this. It's so good.
Could it be that we have a fear of being healed? A fear of actually walking in the healing that God has for us? Now, before you're quick to get upset at me, remember that in John 5, even Jesus had to address this issue, because it says that when Jesus saw him lying there, talking about the man who had been an invalid for 38 years, it says, and he learned that he had been in that condition for a long time, Jesus asked him, "Do you want to get well?" That's a huge question. You know, as a pastor, I've dealt with lots of people throughout the years that would request prayer constantly for God to fix issues in their life. But their actions didn't support the prayer that they were praying. And see, prayer isn't just asking God for stuff. It's also a means to change our thinking, because our thinking might be what really needs to be healed. You see, we were listening to a testimony during this past week at our Celebrate Recovery, and the guy said he realized that he had a fear of healing. He wanted to be whole, but there was a part of him that was scared to be made whole. And I get that. So I've spent the last few days diving into this, and I hope that at least helps one person. But you know, we almost become so used to the pain that subconsciously we struggle letting go of it, because in a strange sort of way, it's become part of who we are, our identity. There's the contradiction of pain, if you will. See, some people grow so used to the pain that it becomes part of their identity. Let me give you an illustration from 27 years ago. I was leading a youth group, and it was all teenage boys, and we were in this inner city doing a mission trip there in a very large city here in the United States. We were just a bunch of country bumpkins, like fish out of water. But the pastor of the church that we were staying at handed a box of trash bags from our group and a box of trash bags to his youth group, and he suggested that we go canvass the neighborhood to pick up trash. Well, our group went out and we filled up 24 trash bags within just a few hours, and we came back looking for another box. Meanwhile, the other youth group that lived in that neighborhood had come back with 1 bag of trash and 23 empty ones. So the pastor decided to send the groups back out again, but this time sending some of our group with theirs and some of theirs with us, so it mixed us up. And we all went out. Now what we discovered was that the kids that lived locally didn't notice the trash. Some trash they were stepping right on top of. See, since we lived in the country, we were not from there, trash wasn't something that you just saw lying around normally. So they had gotten so used to the trash and debris that they didn't even notice it. See, I've discovered in my own life that I can get so accustomed to the hurt, the pain, that it almost feels like it's part of who I am. You see, healing, though beautiful, also means losing familiarity of our suffering. It asks, who am I without this wound? You see, then fear steps in, not because we don't want to be whole, but because wholeness feels unknown to us. So it's scary. So the part we don't talk about, though, is that healing brings responsibility to live differently, to forgive, to rebuild, to hope again. See, for some, that's scarier than staying broken. See, pain can become a hiding place. Healing demands courage and accountability on our part. See, no one talks about the man that Jesus healed in John 5 having a responsibility after Jesus healed him to live differently, to part with his brokenness and to rebuild his life. But see, when Jesus healed people, it wasn't just physical, it exposed truth. Healing often shines light into dark corners, and sometimes we fear healing because it reveals what's been buried, like shame or memories or lies that we believed about ourselves or others. But healing is never meant to harm. It's an invitation from God for freedom from us. So the wound is not your home, it's the hallway to your transformation. So the question is, do I sometimes find comfort in my pain because it gives me an identity or excuse to hide behind? Now, as a pastor, this is critical information for me to have because now I can help others in our church overcome the obstacles that might be standing in their way of God's healing. So the big question for you, for me, is do I want to be made well? If the answer is yes, then I should be willing to part with the brokenness I've become so accustomed to and begin to rebuild my new life. Love you guys.
Wow, it's deep, right? It's a good word. Again, you can find Brian across the socials under this handle, Trent Tribe, TRENT TRIBE. You'll be glad that you did. I hope that one spoke to you. Yeah. All right, I think now I want to play a little Brandon Lake. Count 'em and tear off the roof. How'd you like that? Some Brandon Lake and KB with a remix on Count 'em right here on the Lifeline Morning Show. Now, Count 'em is a song that is found on the Coat of Many Colors album by Brandon Lake. And I wanted to give you a little information. There is a new exhibit right now at the it's the Christian and Gospel Music Museum right now up in Nashville. They just unveiled it. And it is that coat of many colors that Brandon wore on his album art. I thought it was so cool. They did a big unveiling of it. And it's stuff like that you can find at the Christian and Gospel Music Museum up in Nashville. I got to learn a little bit more about that a couple weeks ago at the Dove Awards. I thought it was so cool. So anyway, another stop if you're headed to Nashville that you might want to go and check out. So, all right, now I think maybe we'll get back to one more song, and I think I'm going to keep it with Brandon Lake here because I really want to hear Tear Off the Roof. So let's do that, and then we'll get your business and ministry impact partners, your weather, your word of life, and then, sadly, close the show because we're almost at the top of the 10 o'clock hour. Hey, if you'd like to find out more about the Museum of Christian and Gospel Music, you can find that right now at cgmmuseum.org. Well, the time has come for me to bid you adieu, but before I do, I'd like to share with you an inspiring quote. In fact, some might say it's the most inspiring quote of the day. From Ralph Waldo Emerson, "What you do speaks so loudly that I cannot hear what you say. And if we're honest, you know what? Thinking about that quote, it's a little convicting because it reminds us that people don't just listen to our words, they're watching how we live. They're paying attention to how we treat others when no one's around, how we respond when life doesn't go our way, and how we keep showing grace when it would be easier to give up. But here's the good news. You don't have to have it all together to make an impact. You don't have to wait until you're the perfect person or in the perfect season or in the right position or for a spotlight moment, because your light isn't something you switch on when everything's good. It's something you carry with you right into the middle of the mess. And that's why I love this thought. You never know who's watching your light today, so shine anyway, right where you are. Maybe today your light looks like patience with your kids, grace toward a coworker, or a smile that breaks through someone else's storm. Maybe it's the way you forgive when it's hard, or the way you hold on to hope when others have let go. You may not see the ripple effect your kindness creates, but God does. You know what? He can use your steady light to guide someone else through their darkness. So as you step into the rest of this day, remember, you don't need a platform to make a difference. You just need a willing heart and the courage to keep showing up. Because right where you are, in your home, your workplace, your community, your faith is speaking louder than you think. So keep shining. Someone's watching your light today. And it might be the reminder they've been praying for. Wow. Shine where you are planted. That's the message today. Matthew 5:16, let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. It's good stuff. Words to live by today. Thanks so much for hanging out with me here on the Lifeline Morning Show. You can catch today's conversation over on 5 podcast platforms. We're talking about Apple, Spotify, also Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and YouTube. Just type in Lifeline Morning Show podcast at 11 o'clock this morning. You can find it across those 5 locations. And if you would, share it with somebody. Subscribe. I've been noticing this thing grow. Thank you for making that happen. Until next time, I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. And please, shine. Because this world is a really dark place. It needs more light like you in it. So keep shining that light. And who knows? Other people might start shining too when they see you shining so bright. All right. I guess we'll close it out with passion. The Lord will provide.